Okay, I was watching, I was seeing that the means if we see the earth earth is divided into many continents like Asia, Europe, and then Africa, then North America, South America, Australia, Antarctica. But earth is also divided into sea, ocean, like Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, North Arctic Ocean, I believe South Arctic Ocean. Primarily, there are three oceans only. One is Atlantic, one is Pacific, and one is Indian Ocean. Okay, now the concept comes is which, now there are two parts. One part is that Indian Ocean belongs to which continent? Indian Ocean belongs to which continent? If I see in that fashion, then Indian Ocean belongs to Africa and Asia. That much is one, and Australia. Indian Ocean belongs to which continent? It belongs to Australia, Asia, and Africa. Okay, south part I can say Antarctica. This much is the Indian Ocean. If I talk about Atlantic Ocean, then it belongs to Europe, Africa, North America, and South America. This is what Atlantic Ocean is. If I talk about Pacific Ocean, then it is North America, South America, Australia, and Asia. That is the Pacific Ocean. That is mapping from ocean to continent. One ocean belongs to how many continents? What about the continent? Asia belongs to which ocean? That is under question mark. Asia belongs to which ocean? Or Indian subcontinent belongs to which ocean? Africa belongs to which ocean? Anyone would reply Africa belongs to Indian Ocean and Africa belongs to Atlantic Ocean. Okay, what about Europe? Europe belongs to Atlantic Ocean and North Arctic Ocean. This is what anyone would reply immediately. What about America? Then it belongs to Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. Okay, I was seeing here and there, it looked little bit clumsy. It is not that straightforward the way it looked. If I talk about Indian subcontinent, or then I was thinking how to find which continent belongs to which ocean. Which continent, any continent belongs to which ocean? This was the question always I had in my mind, because one thing I was always seeing, that if I talk about Indian subcontinent, India, all river, more or less all river in Indian subcontinent, it falls in Indian Ocean only. All river. If I take from the west side, if I take Farat River and Tigris River, it falls in Indian subcontinent. Then if I say Indus, it falls in Indian subcontinent. All the rivers in India, right now, present India, it falls in Indian subcontinent. If I go southwest Asia, Southeast Asia, then from Burma to Vietnam, all river falls in Indian Ocean, including Malaysia, Indonesia. All river falls in Indian Ocean. If I take northern part of Indian subcontinent, that is typically called Kasi Kasgar region, that is Xinjiang right now, Sita River or Tarim River. It go and meet the Lop Nur, that is Indoric Lake. Means it does not go meet any ocean. More or less Indian subcontinent, all river meets in Indian Ocean. And that's why it is Indian Ocean, because it belongs to Indian subcontinent. So Indian subcontinent, all river goes to Indian Ocean. If I see China, then all river it meets in Pacific Ocean. That's why China is separate. All Chinese river they go meet in Pacific Ocean. North to China, that is Manchuria region. Right now it is part of China and Russia. Amur River, that go and it meets the Pacific Ocean, and similarly for the Siberia also. But India as subcontinent, all river go and meet the Indian Ocean. Okay, now I was thinking this proves that India belongs to Indian Ocean. Even though if I see eastward for the Vietnam, that is part of Indian subcontinent, Philippines is part of Indian subcontinent. And these are region into Pacific. They have opening in the Pacific Ocean. But still more or less Indian rivers go and meet Indian subcontinent. India belongs to Indian subcontinent. India does not belong to Pacific Ocean. even though Pacific Ocean touches Indian subcontinent. If I see China, then China belongs to Pacific Ocean. China does not belong to Indian Ocean at all. Indian Ocean is private to India. This is what someone can say. Anyway, Australia, the western part of Australia touching Indian Ocean, but primarily Australia, the most of the rivers that are in eastern side only, and they fall in Pacific Ocean. I was thinking, what about Africa? Africa, does it really belong to, means if I say Indian subcontinent, it belongs to India. What about Africa? Africa, does it belong to Indian Ocean and Atlantic Ocean both? This is a question I always had in mind. If I say Europe, then it purely belongs to Atlantic Ocean. All rivers in the Europe, they go and meet Atlantic Ocean. So Europe belongs to Atlantic Ocean. If I see Africa, then Africa is a continent. It belongs to Atlantic Ocean because one part is full Atlantic and one part is full Indian Ocean. North part is Mediterranean Sea, that is part of Atlantic Ocean only. Because Suez Canal, at that part, it is land part, it is closed part. Forcibly, canal is made. Otherwise, it is a naturally land part. So Red Sea is part of Indian Ocean. So Africa is one of the continent which is equally Indian Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. Africa belongs to which ocean? I had this question. Actually, I tried to find out. I made a list of bigger rivers. One way to find out any continent belongs to which sea. Any continent belongs to which sea? If someone has this question, the answer to this is that think about the river that flows in the continent and see where they go. Okay, then that belongs to that sea, most or more or less. Africa, I took down the five longest river in the Africa. Five longest river from north to south. The longest river of the Africa they lie. Luckily, this is a luck. Okay, the first river of the Africa is Nile River, that is 6,650 kilometers, and it flows from Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria has many countries around it: Kenya, Tanzania, I believe Uganda, Rwanda. It forms the Lake Victoria, and from there Nile River begins, and then it flows through Sudan. So Sudan is primarily the Nile River country. Then it empties into Egypt and Mediterranean Sea. Means Nile River belongs to the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, that is for sure now. Second longest river of Africa is Congo River. And Congo River, the name is Congo River flows through Congo. So Congo River, it starts in the Zambia and then it flows through Congo. And it is 4,700 kilometers. It is the deepest river in the world. If Nile River is the longest river in the world, Congo River is the deepest river in the world. And it meets Atlantic Ocean. Nile River meets Atlantic Ocean. Congo River meets Atlantic Ocean. The third longest river in the Africa is Niger River. Niger River. Niger River originates in Sierra Leone, flows through Guinea, and then Mali, Niger, and Nigeria. 4,180 kilometers. It makes a very round shaped kind of thing. And then it empties into Atlantic Ocean only. Means three major river of Africa, it empties into Atlantic Ocean. The fourth river I saw is Zambezi River. Zambezi River is 2,574 kilometers, and it begins in Angola. Angola is a country in Africa that is along the Atlantic Ocean. Angola, Namibia, these are the countries that is along the Atlantic Ocean. So it begins in Angola, but it flows eastward. Okay, and then it goes Angola, Namibia, Botswana, and then finally in Zimbabwe, it empties into Indian Ocean. So fourth river flows in Indian Ocean. Okay, if I the fifth river is called Orange River, 2,200 kilometers, and it starts in Lesotho. Lesotho, I believe Lesotho is a country that is inside South Africa. And then it flows through side of South Africa and Namibia, and it empties into the Atlantic Ocean. So five river, if I take longest river in Africa, then out of five river, four river meets Atlantic Ocean, and one river, that is, I believe, that name of the river, the lucky river, I would say, the name of the river is Zambezi River. It originates in Angola and it flows through Zimbabwe. It meets Indian Ocean. Out of five rivers, four river meets in Atlantic Ocean and one river meets in Indian Ocean. Is it that Africa is part of Atlantic Ocean, that is 80%, and 20% Indian Ocean? Not true. Africa is completely part of Atlantic Ocean, 0% Indian Ocean. If one river, that is small river in southern part of Africa, it goes and meet the Indian Ocean, this is called compensatory river, that is created by nature. If nature makes all the river flow in one direction, one river it makes compensatory river that flows opposite direction to compensate or balance the river flow. Like if I talk about India, all river in India, they go and they empty into Bay of Bengal. All river. From the north side, if I see Ganga, then Ganga starts and Jamuna and then Brahmaputra comes and then it flows into Bay of Bengal. All river. Swarnarekha river to all river. If I see south, Godavari river, Krishna river, Kaveri river, all flows into west to east into Bay of Bengal. When all river in India flows from west to east, to compensate it, nature has made Narmada and Tapti that flows from east to west to compensate it. But it is said that India is a country where it belongs to Bay of Bengal. India's the climate, the monsoon, rain, it comes because of Bay of Bengal, not because of the Arabian Sea. Arabian Sea is secondary here. Primary is Bay of Bengal. Yes, its culture is like that also. Similarly, in Africa, if out of five river, one river go and meet Indian Ocean, and four river they meet Atlantic Ocean. Africa is a continent of Atlantic Ocean, westward, not eastward. If someone see the geography of Africa, especially near the Tanzania and Kenya, someone enters from Indian Ocean, suddenly there is a mountain, suddenly, and then from that mountain river flows and they go and meet Lake Victoria, and there someone can see lions and elephants and crocodile, and very famous river, I believe, Masai river, and that high altitude mountain, there only the Kilimanjaro range starts. So from the ocean immediately high range mountain starts, and there the Kilimanjaro range is there. And then means more or less Africa is in the catchment of the Atlantic Ocean. Means Africa and Europe both are Atlantic Ocean countries. This is also said that Africa and Europe, they make one continent. If ocean are three, that is Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and Indian Ocean, then there are only three continents are there, not five or six or seven. One is Asia, one is Europe, Africa combined. Europe and Africa are not separate continents; they are same continent, and they are connected through the Suez area. That they have made a canal there. There they are connected, and they are connected through the Middle East region of Asia, and this is how they are. This is how they are. And then North America, South America, anyway they are connected. So there are only three continents in the world: Asia, Europe, Africa duo. That is same continent. There is no two continent called Europe and Africa. Same continent. And then North America, South America, America, where Europe and Africa both are Atlantic Ocean based continent, whereas Asia is is Pacific Ocean. We can more or less we can say it is a or 50-50 Indian Ocean or the Pacific Ocean, whatever it is. But this is how it is for the Africa.